Welcome back to Y'all Hearing This.
That's right.
Yes, this is the podcast edition. Okay. My name is Honeybee, or you can call me B.
And my name is Kay. Thank you guys so much for coming back.
Yes. And just to let you guys know, well, I don't even have to do that because we have a whole intro now.
That's
so
right.
You know what?
That's right.
We're going to act like I didn't do that.
That's right.
This is real.
What?
Right, we have a whole new intro. Look at you, see that? I was ready to keep going.
Yep.
Girl, how you been?
I'm good. How are you?
Chad, I've been good.
Yeah, that's good.
It's like the season's changing, you know what I'm saying? It's like
not quite ready to get rid of that spooky season vibe yet, but
I'm
ready
not
to get
either.
into the holidays.
Yeah. It's definitely, I always feel like when the season's changing, we were talking about this earlier, I feel like for me, like your stress levels and anxieties and all that stuff are all like jumbled up. But then it's like, you have great things like this podcast and music to kind of take you out of that. So I hope that we hope that this is being just as like therapeutic and as relieving and fun and all that as it is for us, that it's the same for you guys. So
absolutely.
But yeah, girl, we just been trucking along, honey.
We really have. I know. We're on episode, are we 23? No, 22. Wow.
Oh my god. It's like the year has flown by.
It really has. I know. Yeah, it's been so much fun though.
That's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Our first episode was almost 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, we're gonna keep it going. Hey, you know what I'm saying? So this week's theme was so dope because I feel like there was so many different ways that we could have went at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
we both went very similar routes.
Yeah, we did. And it was more so like the sounds. Like the theme is freaks come out at night. So basically it was like those sensual, dark, moody, like
Get your freak on.
like after hours red light special, you know what I'm saying, type of music. And my pick for this week was the incomparable Aaliyah.
Yeah.
I love Aaliyah.
Yeah, she is amazing.
I will say
way too soon.
I know. Way too soon. For those of you who don't know, Aaliyah tragically died in a plane crash in 2001. And it was just so sad. And I actually can remember, it's funny because I remember when she passed, and I think I said this in a previous video, but I remember I was like young. I was like sixth grade, 2001. No, it was 2001. I was 7. I was 7th grade, 8th grade. And I just remember being like devastated. And I remember calling all my friends that morning, like, oh my God, Aaliyah died. Like, and it was just like, all of them were like, sir, we got to be at school in an hour. Like, what are you doing? And I was like, and it was when, I think, what was his name? MTV News, Matt Lauer.
No, that's the NBC guy. Oh God, I can't remember.
I thought his first name was Kurt.
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 No, not Kurt.
You talk about freaks come out at night.
Loader.
She said Kurt
Loader.
I know what you wanted to do with Kurt, girl.
Kurt Loader. No, Hummel. He's from Glee. Kurt Loader.
I said Kurt Hump. I said, wait, what?
Oh, Hummel.
It goes with the theme. No, sir. But yeah, I just remember watching him and it being a big deal. And it was it just showed, and then, the after effects, it just shows the impact that Aaliyah has. So when it came to this theme, I instantly thought of the first single that came off of her last album that she ever released, which is self-titled. A lot of people refer to it as the Red Album. And it's called We Need a Resolution. And so I got my facts and everything from genius.com and from Wikipedia. And so I'm going to jump on over and just kind of get you guys into the tea. You know what I'm saying? Come sit down, take a little sip. All right. So We Need a Resolution is a song that was recorded by Aaliyah, which features Timbaland. And it was the first single off of her third album. It was written by Static Major and Timbaland, while the production was handled by Timbaland as well. It's a bouncing alternative R&B and hip hop and electro funk song. And it speaks about a passive aggressive relationship. And it's like one of those things when I remember first hearing it, it was so different. And I feel like what made Aaliyah's last album so special is just the simple fact that it's one of those albums that you can listen to now or like when it first came out 21 years ago. And it all sounds relevant every year that you listen to it, like no matter what time period. And that what makes Aaliyah music so special. And I think that's why it took so long for her to come out with albums in between each other, was because of the simple fact that she just took her time.
Made it right, made it hers.
Yes. So just the background on the song, it says during the recording of her third studio album, Aaliyah was also filming her second film, Queen of the Damned, in Australia. Due to her hectic schedule at the time, she decided to record the album simultaneously with the filming. Thus, her team of producers, including Timbaland, traveled to Australia. And due to unforeseen issues with Blackground Records, Timbaland was not expected to appear on the album at all. According to Tim Barrett, who's the former assistant of the songwriter Static Major, they quote-unquote went back to New York and did them in either Sound King or Manhattan Studio. Then we did so they're talking about the recording of the music. We did them right after the New Year. Part of the problem was Timbaland and Missy weren't even going to be on the album because of problems with Blackground Records. Aaliyah talked to Tim into producing records for the album, so Timbaland did it out of love for Aaliyah. Once Aaliyah reached out to Timbaland and asked him to produce the songs for the album, there were constant doubts about him meeting his deadline in time due to the last minute request. And then according to producer Rapture Stewart, Timbaland came on board during the last week of the album's production.
Wow.
So, and just kind of jumping over to Genius, which I love. Side note, I love Genius.com because I always feel like they have such like real, like in-depth, like, you know what I mean? Like notes and like nerdy stuff. And I just live for them. So shout out Genius. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You want to sponsor us or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Go right ahead. You know
our
what I'm
email
saying?
Description link.
Right, I'm just saying. So just kind of like jumping back on the topic of the song, and what it's composed of. It says We Need a Resolution has a sparse arrangement with a stop-start drum pattern, hand claps, and clarinet sample from Jod, and I think this is how you pronounce it, so forgive me, Ottoman's Tricks of the Trade, from the score of the 1997 film Incognito.
Okay.
And then what did Aaliyah have to say about the song? She said, this song is very smooth. It's not a ballad, but it's not your average up-tempo. This song speaks about a relationship that's not good or bad, but it's at a point where they're not communicating, they've got problems, and they want to resolve them. What's cool about it is that sometimes you don't come to a resolution, and at the end of the song, they don't really resolve anything, and that just happens in life.
It really does.
Right. And it really does. It's like, and that's why I think too that the song is so relatable. It's just because, like, and it's funny because I never really actually realized that, but they don't come to a resolution at the end of the song, and that really is life. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a answer or, you know, conclusion to everything, unfortunately. And then it says that, lastly, during one of her last interviews, the interviewer asked her, is this song about a specific person or situation? And she said, not personally, no. This song just speaks about relationships and things that happen in life. This particular song doesn't touch on anything that happened to me in my life. It just speaks about a relationship that has gone a little sour. And the lady's asking for a resolution. And she's saying, we need to talk. We need to solve this. And again, the song was produced by Timbaland. And the video was directed by Paul Hunter, which features Aaliyah. It's basically, the theme of the video is to take a look at the day in life of Aaliyah in this stance, like in that mindset of a woman who is in a relationship that's going sour. So like the darkness behind the video, it's like, you know, like a what's that word when it's like not a nuance, but it's like a metaphor.
Oh, okay.
That's I guess it's the metaphor of what a woman feels in that situation where her relationship's going sour. She doesn't feel like she's being heard. So it was just kind of like that's just showing a day in the life of Aaliyah.
And like a big snake in a tunnel.
Ah!
I'm just saying, it might add to the After Dark theme.
Child, I remember watching that on Making the Video or one of those type of shows because I love the behind the scenes stuff. And Aaliyah was actually like deathly afraid of the snakes.
Really?
Like, and she had them all.
You
can't even tell.
No,
and she was like terrified, like, and I was like, I would have passed out.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny, like what things like end up bothering me and what don't. Snakes don't really, but like cockroaches. But snakes, they feel cool. I don't know.
I can't do snakes. Spiders don't bother me.
It depends on the spider.
Bugs don't bother me.
If it's like humongous, like no. But if it's like a tiny little daddy long legs or something, nah.
Right.
I don't like it when they like go somewhere and you don't know where they went to. Yeah. They're just about to go to bed or something. That has happened to me where one's like crawled on the bed and then you like think you got it and you didn't get it and then you're like, where did it go? And you're gonna eat it at night or something. Yeah, I don't.
Listen,
I don't like that.
I don't like. What are those centipede looking? Are those called water? Oh my god, the centipede looking ones. They're called not water bugs. They're called something like specific. They like have mad legs. They're like this silverfish.
Oh.
That's what they're called. Silverfish.
Yeah,
oh my child.
Yeah. No.
So we talk about things we don't like, child.
No. Yeah. Don't like it. But yeah, no, it was a cool video, and like I said in the reaction, I'm pretty sure I'd heard that song before, but it wasn't one that like super stood out to me. Mm-hmm. But like knowing just off the top of my head, I think. But I really loved the song. She looks amazing.
Which, by the way, it was a moderate success. It went to number 15 on the top R&B hip hop songs chart of that year, and it went to number 59 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Nice.
Which kind of adds to the fact that maybe that's why it's not necessarily super known, because especially back then, everything was based off of airplane sales. It was not about streaming or anything like that.
Yeah.
So like,
really a thing yet.
Yeah, so like those numbers were like legit. So like being like having a song like hit number 59 to most record labels was considered a flop. But it's Aaliyah, and it's like a cult classic. Like people like culturally just love this song. So it's interesting because it's just one of those hidden gems. Like it reminds me of like the way people look at, you know, Janet Jackson's The Velvet Rope album. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or like, you know, I don't even know, just certain albums that just grew into these massive like favorites that maybe didn't necessarily have a hit right off the gate, but then,
and also you have to factor in that kind of like posthumous kind of like stuff too. When someone passes away, there definitely gets to be that kind of fervor. And this was the one that came out right before she passed.
Yeah, it came out. Yep, it came out. I think it was like 4 or 5 weeks before she passed. I think we talked
about this last time we talked about her. Yeah,
and then it just shot up.
Of course,
instantly just like.
It's kind of like when people win like Oscars after they've passed away and things like that. You know, so
which is sad.
Yeah, but I do like it when they're honored in that way, you know, because that is like their life's work. That's their creativity. That's what they wanted to put out into the world. And so I'm happy that, obviously not happy that that's why, you know, it gets.
That's all I was,
But I mean, I love that we
should try to give people their flowers while they're here.
Oh, for sure. And that's really a lot about what this podcast is about, too.
Yes.
You know, I mean,
we
may not always feature.
Go ahead, girl. Let me dust it off your shoulder. Bitch, you better preach, preacher.
Yeah, we may not always do artists, obviously, that are alive now, but, you know, that's why I do love talking about maybe people that you guys haven't checked out before. You know? So it's always cool when we can introduce something to somebody and each other.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I love it.
Period. So I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, no, I really did. It was great. Great
Shout out to
song.
Aaliyah. We love
Yes,
you. Rest in peace,
absolutely.
baby girl.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, girl, give me all the details about your song, sister friend.
So I went with also similarly kind of more of like the feeling of the song, the feeling of the music, the feeling of the vocals. So I went with a Tricky Hell Was Around the Corner.
Yes.
So this is a song. The lyrics aren't really kind of sexy or anything like that. Actually, they're kind of talking about racism bit, anyway, well, let's get into it. So because he's talking about how he needs a reference as to get a place of residence and things like that. So this is the fourth track on his debut album, Maxine K. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. It's either Maxine K or Maxine Quay. So he was part of Massive Attack, who was another one of my favorite.
Like, girl.
So this was
Massive Attack.
Yeah.
Yo, wait. Oh, let me go. Is it this? Yeah.
Yeah,
this
you
way.
got it.
Y'all better.
Yeah.
Y'all better come check her out because she love y'all.
So this was actually written while he was part of the group. So they actually did release this song just on with another music behind it, different music behind it. So the lyrics were used for that song as well as their track Eurochild, which is on their second album, Protection, which is. And you definitely know that song.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to. Yeah, that's all like.
Stand in front of me, take the force of the blow, protection. Anyway, such a good song.
We're gonna need that. We're gonna need that.
And that was the final Massive Attack album that featured Tricky as an original band member, and that was in 1994. So Hell Was Around the Corner featured vocals from then girlfriend Martina Topley Bird, who you see in the video too. So she recorded numerous records along with Tricky, and then it was also featured on a Tricky, Martina Bird Topley. I always said, that's weird. It's Topley Bird, I think, instead of Bird Topley, an American hip hop group Gravediggers EP entitled The Hell EP, which also contained a Hell and Water remix of the track. So it samples Ike's Rap 2 by Isaac Hayes, and it was also used in Portishead Glory Box, which came out a year prior.
Okay, Portishead.
Glory Box was in The Craft, and it's at the point where what's his name and Firuza Balk are kind of getting to it. So that may be where you think. Maybe where you're thinking you heard.
Yes.
Oh no, I think they're in the car.
Are they in the car and she's sitting in the back?
It's not Firuza Balk. It's what's her name? It's the main character. I can't remember her name. Robin Tunney.
Yes.
Is the actress anyway. But yeah.
Is this after Manu? I mean,
no.
After before?
It's when he kind of gets too fresh with her.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
So anyway, that because we were talking in the reaction about like where he had heard the song before.
Yeah. Because I was like, it sounded so familiar, like that melody.
And I can't remember if I heard because this came out. Well, like I said, this came out a year after the Portishead, but I probably got these CDs around the same time. So I can't remember if I heard this or Portishead first, but that was one of the first things I noticed was that it was the same music. But yeah, Max K came out in 1995. It has some amazing stuff on it. Let's see. It was featured Martina Topley Bird, produced by Mark Saunders, written by Tricky and Isaac Hayes. And yeah, so it's such a... I love it. I love this song. But yeah, some of the lyrics are like... the constant struggle ensures my insanity. Passing the ignorance ensures the struggle for my family. We're hungry, beware of our appetite. Like it's talking a lot more about like struggles he's kind of gone through. So it's not necessarily a sexy song, but his voice just makes everything so ridiculously amazing.
I was actually gonna say like what what is it about his voice that just takes you?
He kind of almost like sings raps, so it's a little like it's melodic, but it's more of a speaking. It's the deepness of the voice for sure. For sure. He's definitely one of the first people I had ever heard who like sounded like this. Like it kind of in like in like electronica, in like, you know what I mean, like I love the juxtaposition of like that's why I love trip hop so much, because I really love like hip hop and R&B and that sort of stuff, but I also like the electronica, and so like it just melded the two together in this really awesome way. um yeah, like I said, I had been a Massive Attack fan before, so I'd heard kind of his voice there, but it is mixed with other members. And so, and this was a very tricky, heavy song too, because some of the other ones on the album are more of Martina. And so, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, and it's funny because like just listening to his voice, he almost reminds me of like I don't know, like he reminds me of like Q-Tip or Most Def. Like that's the vibes I get from him, but more on a trip hop, like electronic type of level. You know what I mean? And even like the way he looked, like I actually second looked for a second because I was like, wait a minute, who that? Like oh my god! But he's like his words and voice, the way that he flows was just so dope.
There is
like, oh.
I have to say, so on one of the songs off of this, and I'm sorry, I need to look up the name real quick again. One of the songs off of this album is, I believe it's an NWA cover, Black Steel.
Come on, NWA cover.
I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I hope, hold on, let me get to the Public Enemy. I'm sorry.
Oh, Public Enemy.
Public Enemy, Black Seal and the Hour of Chaos. So it's a cover of that song. And so it's, the main vocals are Martinez Bird, but he does come in on it too. And it's, I don't know, I always love that too. Like, I love that he takes these influences from kind of everywhere. And kind of, but turns it into like his reimagines them. Yeah, because it is like a rap, but it's actually Martina mostly doing the vocals for it. So again, it's kind of that more melodic kind of thing. But the lyrics are so powerful, and I really love it. It's one of my favorite genres. If I had to pick like a genre, to forever and ever.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, but I think it also does fit that that just kind of sensual, moody vibe. Yeah.
Sensual. Freaks coming out at night.
Freaks come out at night.
And speaking of freaks coming out at night, you know, let's just go ahead and segue real quick to the Say What section. You know, this little section of the show where we like to break it up and talk about anything and everything. Could be related to our choices for the week. It could not.
Right.
But this week, I feel like it kind of does, because we were talking about this, and in between filming our reaction videos, when we were getting ready to do this, I was sitting here and thinking, I was like, I feel like I heard the Tricky song, and it just reminded me of like, and the theme, and like even Aaliyah, the way she was dressed, and like the fact that she was filming that during the Queen of the Damned, and it made me think, like, I've never actually seen Queen of the Damned, but it made me think, like, you know, what is your favorite, like, vampire, or not even vampire, just like spooky, scary, freaks come out at night vibe-esque type of like films? Like, you know what I mean? Like that are like the Queen of the Damned, or like your Daybreaks, or for me it's the Underworld series. Like that. That Tricky song could have played in the second Underworld Evolution, when they're in, you know, like, that's what in that part.
Right.
Okay. Point, girl.
Yeah, so Queen of the Damned, I have seen it. Now,
Ooh, tell me, girl. Girl, keep it 100.
I love Aaliyah.
Yes.
But boy, was that bad. And so it's my favorite of the Vampire Chronicles books, and so it was so disappointing.
Now, was it disappointing because of like the producers and writers, or was it like the act? Like, how did Aaliyah do?
Oh, she was amazing. So she plays Akasha, who's kind of like the Queen of the Damned.
Right. And you know, we'll always keep it 100 because you know we love us some Aaliyah, but you know we'll keep it 100.
Yeah, she's playing this like millennia old vampire. Like she's like the first. I think she's like the first vampire. But anyway, she was supposed to be like Egyptian, and like her name was Akasha. Anyway, she does really well in it, and like But I think they went way more. She doesn't have much to do in it other than kind of go,
right.
you know what I mean? So,
right.
like, she looked great.
Right.
And, like, she did great with what they gave her.
Now, was that because they were reshooting when she died?
They made a choice. So, the whole movie. So,
yeah.
The main character, what's his last name? Stuart Townsend plays Lestat.
Yes.
So, have you seen Interview with the Vampire?
So, I haven't. I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. I've seen it, but it's been years. And side note, they just remade it. And they just released a new version of that. That made me think of it.
TV show.
Oh, it's a TV show?
And it's
I thought it was a movie.
It's not that.
It's not?
No.
Oh, I thought it was, girl.
No, TV show.
This is the conversations that we be having.
So,
but anyways, go ahead.
It's similar, so it has some things, but it's not like a remake.
Yes. Okay.
So Tom Cruise plays Lestat. Okay, so the blonde one.
Yes.
So he starts kind of flaunting like the secrecy of the vampires, and he becomes a rock star.
Okay.
And so, but the thing is like the public doesn't know if it's real or not. So you know what I mean? So like he's playing, so
he knows it's real, and the community of vampires know it's real.
Right. So there's this whole kind of thing. The vampires are coming after him. Anyway, let's not go into.
Right. I was gonna say I take it the vampires were pissed.
Yeah. Not happy. And so, but there's this whole other side story. There's a group called the Talamasca, which are like, human. Well, it has like extrasensory humans too, kind of, who know about vampires, who know about, ghosts, who know about all the, like that supernatural world and work to kind of make sure that humans are safe, and so that plays into it, but they do such a shitty job of like introducing that whole, like there's this whole big they just killed it. It was, so the book is like that big and the movie's like that big, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like they just didn't take the time
to really like,
and like it was such a big story.
That's why I was wondering, like, I was really I will say, like, I was a little shocked that they ended up coming out with it not because of the fact that Aaliyah had died and whatever, but I felt like that maybe they should have. It just sounded like, from what I've heard about it, like there was major parts that were missing.
So I mean, well, the thing is that it came out because Interview with the Vampire was hot. Vampires are hot.
Right.
Aaliyah's hot. Blah 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 blah.
But I'm saying, like,
everybody's hot. Let's make this movie. I don't think it was ever meant to be like a true faithful adaptation.
No. Okay.
Because there are movies that come out that they read the book and they love the book.
Right.
And whoever produced this and made this went. Cha-ching is what happened.
Okay. Because I was like, from my understanding, some of the things that I've read and I just kind of figured too was like, since Aaliyah died, there had to been parts that were missing that she couldn't have
I don't know.
filmed
not
or
that you could have.
But that's why I was asking, because I was like, I have no idea because I don't know the book or the story.
So she's not a humongous character in the movie or the book necessarily. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
That's what I was thinking. So she's not even a big character in the book.
Well, because obviously it's about her, but at the same time it's not. Do you know what I mean? It's more about Lestat.
Yeah.
But anyway, to answer your question, my all-time favorite vampire movie that is so sexy and so I love it, Bram Stoker's Dracula, with Gary Oldman.
What year did that come out?
90s sometime. Can't remember. So that's one with Winona Ryder.
Okay.
It does have Keanu Reeves, but he's awful. But
yeah,
with a sort of English accent, but not really. But Gary Oldman.
Really?
I don't know why, but he absolutely does it for me. There's parts in it where he's like older, and it was directed by Francis Ford Coppola, and it's just beautifully shot. There are all these really cool little camera tricks, like you see like drops of water like go back up. And like, I don't know, different, like they play.
Now I want to watch this.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's one of my favorites. My absolute favorite vampire movie. And yeah, it definitely played up like the sexiness of the vampire and kind of Anthony Hopkins was in it like way overacting.
Are you serious?
Way overacting. He plays Van Helsing. He's like, yeah. Vampire, and it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. But Gary Oldman, he melts my butter. And him as like young Dracula. Oh, you can bite me anytime, baby. I got my neck ready for it. So that does it for me.
I live.
What about you?
Mine would be the Underworld.
Yeah.
No, you're right. So mine would be the Underworld series. Is it Kate Winslet? No, Beckinsale.
Beckinsale.
So it is Beckinsale. I always get those two mixed up.
Yeah. But you know who I really love in that is Lucian.
Listen.
What's his name? But it's so funny because he looks so different now. Michael, what's his name? Oh, jeez. The guy who plays Lucian.
Yeah, I liked him, and I wish that I so wish he would have survived the first movie longer. But my favorite character is.
And I love Bill Nighy. There's something sexy about him too. Even
I'm horrible with names, so I don't even
he's the main vampire, the old dude, the one who takes Selena in and stuff.
Victor.
Yes.
Oh my God.
There's something super sexy about him too, even though he's like 50 years old.
Right, and he's like so not nice. In that one, yeah, but like there is something about him.
I love a bad boy.
Right, I actually thought the dude that played Marcus was hot too. Like in the second one when he became a hybrid.
Oh yeah.
And oh my God, I was like,
oh my God, the guy, I have no idea what his name is, but the really deep voice is a huge guy.
Yes.
Oh.
Are you talking about the Lycan?
Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am.
He talked like this.
He really did.
Like he's like, yeah. I thought he was the dude from the Green Mile at first, and I don't think it is him.
No.
And he had a larger part in the third movie, which was The Rise of the Lycans. It was like the prequel. Oh my God. That was really good. But, it's like that. This is literally.
Sorry, this is us horny for extra. Right. I don't know.
Right. This is us all day. But, I literally love that whole series. It just gives me.
And Kate Beckinsale in leather.
Bitch!
Lord have mercy. Scott Speedman, I can take or leave. He was kind of like, what's happening? I mean, don't get me wrong.
I actually like the last two films, Underworld Awakening and Underworld Blood Wars.
I haven't seen those.
Oh my God. So they introduced a new main character. Mm-hmm. And he is something else. A child. I don't know his name. I'm about to look his name up right now. When I tell you this motherfucker came out, I remember I was watching it. I don't even remember where I was watching. I think I was watching it at home, maybe. Mm-hmm. And I remember when this new dude came out, and I was like,
I wonder if I'll know him by name.
I was like, wait a minute, you too fine to be looking like that. What? Ooh. All right, so. Theo James.
He plays.
Wait, is it Theo James?
Yeah.
Yep, it is Theo James.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's on the first episode of Downton Abbey. He plays the Turkish diplomat who ends up in Mary's bed and dying and stuff. Anyway, but he's also in the what's the name of the damn movies? The one with God, what are the name of the goddamn movies? They're like dystopian future ones, and I can't think. Look him up on IMDb, and you'll know.
Oh, yep. I am.
It's like something. Oh, God damn it! What are the name of those damn movies?
Oh my God! I just forgot his name already.
Theo James.
Thank you. Theo James.
Dissident or something. Oh, what is it?
Oh, Divergent.
That's it. He was in those. He was like the main character.
Yes, which is funny because I saw the first Divergent in theaters, and then I never got to see the last two.
Yeah, well, so I don't think they ever ended up making the last one, did they?
I think they did.
Oh, did they?
I think it's on HBO.
I didn't finish watching it because by that time I had read all the books and I hated how the books ended. So I stopped myself right then.
Wait,
but anyway, he's
it's
very
3
hot.
films. Yeah, the trilogy.
He's very hot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm absolutely with you on that. So I will be watching the last two Underworld movies now.
Listen, they were.
Yeah, they did look good, but I just haven't. But yeah. So anyway, guys, now that we've.
Yes. Now that we've talked about
we're salivating a
little bit. What is your?
We're gonna go get ourselves together.
Right. What is your favorite Freaks Come Out at Night song? Or what's your favorite movie that gives you those vibes?
Or Aaliyah and Tricky, Massive Cat. Who do you like for what type of songs do you like?
Yes, and please let us know. Let us know in the comment section below. Make sure you like and share, subscribe, all that great stuff. Make sure you look at all this over here.
That's right. All that stuff over there. all that stuff over there.
And we love you guys, and thank you for your continued support.
Yes, thank you guys so much for listening and watching. And
yes.
we love you.
We love you so much.